Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a full screen. It's me, Mr. B. It's Rebel in the house on Monday, Juma, and the faceless, but always sometimes controversial. No, not always, sometimes controversial bath time. Guys, we've got a few bits to talk about today. It's the Man United agenda. After the shower of shit refereeing that was yesterday, how are we all doing today, guys?
Well, I'm surprised. I think it's the first time since I've been back we had a full screen.
Not bad, is it? Got a lot to talk about. On Monday, how are we?
Yeah, great, man. Great. Had a good day today. Just come back, feel good, feel healthy, happy. Looking forward to the weekend now. Got over yesterday. Not too disappointed. After all, I think we're playing better football. Showed a bit of it yesterday. Before the sending off, we showed we were playing pretty good football. So I'm quite happy about that. And going forward, I think we can start stepping up now. So let's move it.
Bath time. Didn't hear from you yesterday. I know you were up really early, but I'll take it that you did see the game. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm extremely tired as I've been away for a while. Very early starts. My voice isn't working properly now, which is also annoying. But apart from that, I'm all right.
That is what I like to hear. Well, look, guys, let me show you what we've got on the agenda today. It's a conspiracy. Any chance of qualification? Ratcliffe sooner than later, and a new striker in January. We're going to start with the conspiracy because obviously yesterday's game kind of changed on a decision that a lot of people have, had their opinion on. Obviously, the trollers and the haters have said it was a foul, it was a straight red, and you've got some pundits saying that he shouldn't have been sent off. But here's something just to show you. I'm going to show it again towards the end of the show. But guys, I would just want you to have a look at this and let me know what you think.
Is he planting his foot as well, huh?
Right. Now, it's there, clear as day, 24-hour difference, and a completely different color card. Is it a conspiracy? Am I losing my mind? Talk to me.
I'll start with this. I don't think it's conspiracy. It's lack of consistency and detail in what is right and wrong. How can we all know the game, all of us on this panel, all the guys in the comments know the game as well. Why can't we just define what is and isn't? It should be so simple to say, all right, that's a yellow card, that's a red card. I think yesterday, Rashford's was never intentional. Didn't mean to hurt the player. Just went to plant his feet. You see, he's just trying to shape himself up and shield himself. And that happens. But this guy, for Liverpool, he's gone for the ball. And that's completely different if you see it again. He's actually trying to get the ball. And he stepped on his foot. That's completely different to me. That, to me, if one's a red, that's a red. Rashford's, for me, is a yellow. Conspiracy, you could say that because we've had a lot of decisions against us this season. The worst one for me was the handball against Spurs. I thought that was just ridiculous because then they went and give it in the same weekend. You saw handballs at that given. So people could say something's against Manchester United, but I think things always balance out. And I think because we've had a lot of bad luck, I think going towards the end of the season, the rest of the season now, I think they'll be more lenient on us after what happened yesterday. It's got to be.
What are you saying, bath time?
For me, I thought that Rashford's red card was a clear red, and it's a foul I'm quite familiar with because I've done it myself. He sees him coming, he swings the elbow, he puts his foot in, rakes it down the guy's leg. The clip that you're showing, I think that this guy here is trying to withdraw his foot, and the guy comes into him. Yeah. The guy comes into him, whereas Rashford stamps his foot down. I think because it's above the ankle and he's got his full weight on it, it's reckless and dangerous and should also be a red card. But I, for personal reasons, I don't have much truck with conspiracy theories. I can't believe we're actually talking about this as if there's a great conspiracy across Europe to make us look even worse than we already are. Like, Rashford has been a petulant little so-and-so for a while now. He's booted the ball at the hoardings. We know he's in a bad frame of mind. I'm of the mind that Rashford knew what he was doing and went for his man yesterday, and it was a clear red. Because I've been in that same boat and done exactly the same foul.
Rebel, as a man who doesn't play football and plays Gaelic, come on, talk to us, man.
Well, having played Gaelic, I've done worse than that, but that's beside the point. But in terms of what's going on there's less shenanigans in Area 51 in America than what's going on in the inner workings of the VAR room at the moment, because I think nobody can draw a conclusive definition of what would be and what wouldn't be a yellow card, depending on what side of the bed said ref rolled out of on a given day. But I do agree with Bat Time. I've been watching quite a bit of videos about the red card from last night, including some of the stuff on the American coverage with Jamie Carragher, Michael Richards and company, and they brought on a rather well-versed person on, and intention has nothing to do with whether or not there's a red card. It's what, as Bat Time rightly pointed out, it's whether they endanger their opposition player. And I think what we're looking at here is, even though, as Box says, he might be trying to withdraw his foot or try to pull out of it, it's a red card. He endangered the opposition player and he clamped down on that ankle, and it's no different to the treatment that Rashford got or should have got. So the Liverpool player should have walked too, in my opinion.
Okay. Any other guys in the chat you want to go through some of these comments on Monday?
We'll say hi to everyone. Obviously, we're going to do that later. A big T's in the house. Rajat as well. Matthew Bassett. Box is here saying, yo. He's saying we were robbed yesterday. I demand a replay. That's a joke, by the way. He's not serious. Box also saying, since Bruno goal versus Man City in January, in the main, we've got nothing bar Onana Wolves instant. So if we were talking about a conspiracy, that's a long time without getting any sort of decisions go our way. Box is also saying here, Endo didn't withdraw his foot. The one on screen is clearly pulling out, says Big T. I don't want to make jokes. But Ed Football was saying here, the Rashford red, bad timing, the Rashford red was harsh. And big ups, go subscribe to Eagle Eye Football, even though it's Crystal Palace and their rival, or one of the Premiership rivals of ours. Richard is a top man, and he's been on the show before, and he's ripped us live on our show.
No, he ripped you.
Whoa!
He ripped you.
All right, he ripped me, but I'm still going to endorse him. Go and subscribe to his channel, guys. Really good content coming out from Eagle-Eyed Football. Montreal MUFC saying here, nearly 90% of all players, former players, say it was not a red for Rashford, but using different standards on the tackle by Endo was criminal. Be consistent. That's what we want to see. More consistency right here. Larson's handball 90th minute as well by 2023 standards. You talk about the Sun? I'm not sure. And Liverpool player pulled out. The player who walked into it endangered himself. No jokes, guys. Come on, let's get on this serious stuff.
Guys, I'm just going to put it out there really quickly. Do we have any chance of qualification out of this group?
Yeah.
Do we on Monday?
Yeah, of course.
Right, talk me through it.
Please.
Right, we've got 3 points. We've got an opportunity to win 6 more points. Bayern Munich might be qualified. We played them in the last game at home, and we really might need the result. They might just play their B team or lesser players, and we might get a win against them. There's no reason.
So you're hoping.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on. Yeah.
So that's Bayern Munich game. It's the last game, but we have to beat Galatasaray. We beat them. We're going to go above them, aren't we? And Copenhagen are playing Bayern Munich. Hopefully, Bayern Munich will beat them, so they remain on their 4 points. We're on 3 points. The other two, they're on 4 points, Galatasaray and Copenhagen. So if next round of fixtures, we go and beat Galatasaray on 4 points, then we get 6 points. We're 2 points above them. Copenhagen lose. Yep. That means they stay on 4 points. So we got 6 points. The other two got 4 points each. Then we go to Bayern Munich, beat them to get 9 points. Galatasaray play Copenhagen. If that's a draw or it'd have to be, if they draw, it doesn't matter. We're through. And if one of them wins, then we're still through. As long as we win our next 2 games.
Have we ever taken 3 points in Turkey?
No, we never won there. Never won there at all.
Okay. And can you see us beating Bayern Munich's B team, considering we've struggled with our form this? You can, yeah?
Yeah, of course I can.
Do you think it's likely?
No, it's not likely, but it's not. I'm not right. I'm not right. No. Actually, no. Tell a lie. It's likely. I think it's very rare that 9 points gets you through. You still use the magic 10. Even Berg used to say that. Get 10 points in the Champions League group stage, you like to go through. But this stage, with so many teams, with Bayern Munich being the best, by clearly the best, we're fighting amongst ourselves. All we have to do is beat Galatasaray away from home and beat Bayern Munich at home. And I think we're capable of doing both.
Omondi, you say that, but think of the players that have been to Galatasaray away and not come away with a point, and then think about like Garnacho, like going out there with the rest of the lads. It's less likely, to be honest, than when we beat PSG away.
No, I think it's more likely than that. That PSG result was really tough. I think we can look. I'm confident we can go and beat. We've all seen. We've played these teams now at least once. We've all seen what they've got. Are you telling me we can't beat Galatasaray?
Yes.
We can't beat them. What, they're better than us, are they? All of a sudden.
We go. Listen, Amonde. Our players, as soon as they have 7 people booing them, they crumble. Yeah. We are going to have a stadium full of those nutters.
Yeah.
Yeah? They're going to be stoning the bus. They're probably going to stone the plane as it's landing. They're going to stone the bus. Yeah? We're going to get there. And there's going to be all you think it was hell when Eric Cantona was there. Listen, those players are going to buckle. They are going to buckle. Before we go any further, though, Patrick Ajiman, I've just seen this one. Hello, gents. First time here. Great format. Highly recommended by a good friend. I know who your good friend is. That's Don P. He's appeared on he's come on the channel. So big up, Patrick. Thanks for the subscribe. Sorry, let's get back to what we was talking about. Yeah, we're going to buckle. I don't see it on Monday. This season we've got nothing that suggests to me that they can go out there and raise their game for that. We'll have to raise it for 2 games. It's not even going to be for 1. It's going to be for 2.
Amondi, the players also famously are scared of the dark. What do you think is going to happen, like in Turkey, with them? Right? Amondi, do you think that those players have the mental strength and the togetherness and the confidence at the moment to go to a very tough place and win?
Yeah, I do. That's what makes teams great. That's what makes people great. That's what makes Manchester United. We need this. It's epic, isn't it? Leave it to the last minute, like we did in time and time again, and come and get that result. I think we're capable of doing it. If any club out there can do this, it's Manchester United Football Club. Even though we might be in the mud right now, I think, okay, it's not over. We've still got an opportunity here. And I'm not having it that we can't go to Galatasaray and get the point when it really, really matters. When we played them with Cantona, and it's like, welcome to hell, it was a knockout stage game. No, it wasn't a knockout stage game. It didn't matter because we had to play them again. It was a group game. Early on, we had already been dominating. We actually qualified that year, you know? I think someone's going to go and correct me there, but I'm sure it wasn't as pressurized as this. This one means must-win game. We go out there, we beat them up. Look, guys, you must admit, we were promising yesterday. We showed a bit of promise. In recent weeks. Once we get our players back, Rashford might be out, but I think we've got enough to beat this team. We know what they're like. It's like the fear factor's gone because you played them already now. You know what they're like. It's like bath time you're playing in your league on a Sunday. There's a new team comes in. You don't know anything about them. But once you play them, you say, all right, we know exactly how they play. We don't need to scout them. We know whether we can beat them or not. Same applies. We've seen what this Galatasaray team have got. And we know, okay, that's what they got. They've got some good players, but let's go out there knowing we have to win and make sure it happens.
You know they nearly beat Bayern last night.
Yeah, I saw that. They played well.
Mr. B, can you do me a favour? Can you go drive down to his house and check what he's drinking in his glass?
All right, shall we have a sportsman bet on here, yeah? Because you lot are trying to call out. I'm saying we're going to qualify and we'll get 2 wins.
Listen,
And if we do,
I'm going to be doing the watch along.
Hold on, if we do, here's the thing: all 3 of you have to make a public video apology and post it on this here, saying,
Yeah, that's fine. I have no problem doing that. I have no problem apologizing to you because I know you're going to be wrong. I don't say sorry very often.
And if I'm wrong,
and I hate.
If I'm wrong, I'll make a public apology.
You don't have to. You don't even have to do that because we're witnessing it here. We've got no trouble.
Just
Unbelievable. Guys, sorry, can we go to the guys in the chat? Do they agree? Do they disagree? Do you all think Amondi's on one tonight?
Well, we've got some sensible people in the chat. One of them is Box. Big up, Box, no doubt about it. He's a Bible man like me. He says, I'm with Armando. That's what Andy Big T saying here, bath time. Why can't we play football for 45 minutes? Never mind 90. Is it down to coaching? Is it if it's the mentality? Is that down to coaching as well? There's 2 questions there. Just go to bath time. I'm going to come back to that one. I'm just going to touch on a few things. Wan-Bissaka versus Zaha. They used to do it in Crystal Palace training. That was going to be crucial. Zaha will do United, says Rajat, so he's not a believer. Amonde, when you say we're Man United, do you realise Man United is long gone? That's from Big T. Wan-Bissaka pockets from Zaha. So these are battles going on there. Big T saying here, bet there's no light bulbs in the away dressing room at Turkey. No Gala away. Doubt we are winning that. So no one really believes the women are winning 7-0, says Zoe, by the way. Big up, Zoe. Recent ESPN report showed the Man United top list of negative recipients of negative VAR decisions since the beginning of the season. No conspiracy, but poor run of decisions at the moment. Wow, is it conspiracy? We kept getting home games in the cup. I don't know. There you go. So Bayern Munich B won't play B team against you. They will want you eliminated. That's from Richard from Eagle Eye Football as well. And Big T saying clutching at straws, and there has been, and then there has been delusional. We're not getting out of the group, but I hope I'm wrong. All right, I want a public apology from you as well, Big T, because you're out there. Right in mouth. I'm a rebel. Come on, look. But boxers with me. People are saying it won't happen. What do you think, Rebel? Come on, is it unrealistic to say we can't win our next 2 games?
Well, obviously mathematically, you can get 6 points and qualify. But reality and probability would dictate that it is extremely unlikely that the conditions will favour Manchester United coming out and qualifying for the knockout phase of Champions League. We have to be realistic with ourselves. If we're not realistic, then we're fooling ourselves and we're not doing ourselves any favours. If we do it, great, but the probability and logically speaking, it ain't going to happen. You have to go to Turkey and you're going to be facing a German team that's going to be saying, lovely, we can boot them out of Europe. Fantastic.
Okay, half time. Why can't we play football for 45 minutes? Never mind 90. Is it down to coaching? If it's the mentality, is that down to coaching as well?
First of all, I think it's down to fitness. I had a suspicion when I was watching the game last night that if you remember, they let Amrabat and McTominay mess about in the middle of the pitch and stood off us quite a lot. I think they had a game plan, which is that they know United are not a fit team and we're going to come hard for the last 15 minutes. So, a Monday. Yeah, okay. They were really going to look
from
to penetrate.
They were going to come hard from behind because they were.
Well, it's more about penetrating the box hard.
Anyway,
working the channels, pulling men all over the shop. But I also think that there's a huge lack of confidence in that team, especially positionally. And after Rashford got sent off, it was very clear that no one knew really what they were meant to be doing. Wan-Bissaka and McTominay both got sucked into the middle for the first goal, which is fine if you've got 11 men. But Bruno's has got to be covering, and no one really knew where they were meant to be. So you could say that's coaching, a lack of understanding of the system. I think it's probably more symbolic, or at least symptomatic, of the fact that the players are shot. They have absolutely no confidence. They're losing every other game. The games they are winning are like real sort of scraps, and it's a shame because I saw something last night that I've been waiting to see for a very, very long time, which is a team goal that is a cutback to an open man. Yes, Omondi, did you see how we manipulated the channel on the right-hand side for the first time in 2 years?
It was a beautiful thing.
Do you think that was down? I mean, I think Wan-Bissaka was impressive the first 20, 25 minutes. Even Rashford playing on the right, he seemed to not want to sprint. He was actually looking for a pass. I don't know. It was weird yesterday just seeing him play a winger's game, maybe on the right hand side. He didn't want to be Bloss. So I don't know. I was excited about the first 20, 25 minutes, to be fair, yesterday. I was really happy. And then obviously, the conspiracy theory and VAR came in. But
do you think it's the passing angles for Rashford? Because he does often put his foot on the ball and just like on the left wing and just stay there looking. But because obviously he's not a left footer, the angles that he has for passing are always going to be inside. And that when Wan-Bissaka plays with Anthony, he's also only going to have inside angles, but he thrives on the outside. Like Wan-Bissaka's great in wide areas. He's absolutely useless on the inside.
Yeah.
So maybe it's two players complementing each other there.
Very true. Very good point there. I also think that it was infectious the way we were playing football yesterday. That, like Mr. B was saying, that he getting the ball, he wasn't just driving all the time. People, he got it, and it was. When I say infectious, because he was doing what the rest of the team was doing, was slowly building up, waiting. If someone came close, there was always someone there in the triangle to pass it to, and that's what he was doing, and that's how you open up space. A bit like what Tottenham do right now. I find I like the way they play because there's a lot of movement off the ball, and it makes it easy. There's always a pass on someone running in behind the defender trying to close you down. I think Rashford helped to that, especially with the goal, because there's about 400 passes before that, and everyone was just in tune. It was like a great band playing the music on point, And when it's just they should record that in the studio and release that, and then play it every week. We go to number one by Christmas, I'm sure, playing that sort of football.
Playing that sort of football. I'll tell you what, the pressure that we do have at the moment, we need players. We've been struggling for goals. Obviously, Hojlund scored. What is he? Champions League joint top goal scorer, and he hasn't scored in the Prem. Is the Prem harder than the Champions League? I mean, what might help, or what might not help, to be fair, is the fact that we've been linked with a striker in January. Obviously, we were linked with him last year. Manchester United are exploring making a 10 million offer for FC Porto striker Mehdi Taremi in January. It's believed United could offer him a wage of 4.5 a year after tax. I have no idea what that is before, whatever that is. Eric Ten Hag's objective is to sign an experienced centre forward to take some of the responsibility of Haaland's shoulders. Taremi fits the bill, and that's from this was off X, from Sport Witness. Guys, is this another Weghorst?
No. No. I think it's a good signing. Even though he plays first team for Porto, but he's over 30, I think he's of that age. But he's a good finisher. This is the one thing. If you talk about in the box, someone, what they call it, a fox in the box. Remember they used to say that about Franny Jeffers. Fox in the box, that's what Arsenal required. But he's the fox in the box. He scores most of the goals in there with his header, slotting goals in, movement in the box. He's got it all. And I think it'd be a good addition. Especially, it wouldn't be someone coming in to take Hojlund's place. Hojlund gives us something with his legs and movement, his running power. But I just think this guy can come on late in the game and bam, 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 just score goals. Very deadly finisher. I like him a lot. So yeah, I'd be up for that. It's definitely not the Weghorst sort of signing. He's a much better talented player than Weghorst, and he actually scores goals.
Yeah, I can't lie. I know nothing about this player, but in principle, it seems a good idea, doesn't it? We know that Hojlund has a potential injury. You can't hang your hat on Martial, even though. Well, it was really weird. Like in the Fulham game, I haven't spoken to you boys about that. It was so weird to see Martial fighting like his life depended on it in the 90th minute in the box, wearing his gloves. Him, Palestri, and McTominay, 3 players that Ten Hag sort of wanted out, were really going for it. And hopefully, like with Taremi, we get someone who's a bit more mature, because like Porto in Iran, it's a big step coming to Manchester United like any season. But this season, with everything falling down, takeovers, we don't know what's going on with Ten Hag and all this stuff. It's a lot of pressure. So I hope he's mentally strong as well as a good footballer, because it takes a thick hide to come into this disaster at the moment.
For me, looking at it, I'm just going to be a pragmatic numbers-based bat on this. 86 grand per week net is what his wage translates at. Probably somewhere in the region of 150 gross, which would be euros, by the way. So maybe £120,000 per week. Now, here's where I think this doesn't make sense. Unless there's a departure, given the problems and the swaying that we had with the Amrabat deal, where's the £10 million? Hanging down the back of the couch? Sitting in some non-extradition country where there's no tax being paid it? Because if you're to take the Amrabat situation as the marker of where we are financially, that £10 million isn't there. So that means somebody has to be shipped out in January to fund this. So what is the likelihood that we can drum up that £10 million and then get that deal across the line, because you know that they will be stringing that for the entire month of January?
I think there's a couple of things there, Rebel. With Amrabat, I don't know if you remember this, but the English media, like all the ones close to Manchester United, like Luckhurst and Jacobs, all said that the club were not interested in Amrabat at all. And then the Italian journalists all reported that we were after Amrabat. I suspect that it's not the delay in the Amrabat deal wasn't about money. It was about an internal disagreement between the scouts and Ten Hag about if Amrabat was worth it, which is why we got him on loan. Like, United are not cash rich at the moment, but I suspect that our revolving credit facility will be upgraded or something. And I mean, we make more than 10 million a week. So I don't think that it's going to be that much of a problem to get him in. I just think it's not the greatest comparison to look at Amrabat, because I think there's more to that than just money.
Yeah, just quickly here, look at this. I know it's the Portuguese league, but Taremi, 80 goals in 147 games for Porto. That's more than 1 in 2. 39 goals in 72 caps. That's more than 1 in 2. Only this season, he's only scored 3 goals. And he's come to the end of his contract. Boxers let us know. End of the season, he's a free agent. So could be a deal of going in January. I think that's highly likely that we could, if we really wanted him, to go in for him. And yeah, go and check him out. He does score some really good goals. Very good finisher.
Is he a box player? Is he scoring goals from outside the box?
Man, isn't he?
Yeah, not really tight. He's not massive. I can't imagine being massive in the Premier League for holding up the ball and that sort of thing. But you put balls in like we did yesterday for Hojlund for the first goal, little cutbacks and that kind of thing. He will be there and finishing his dinner. No bibs.
So the problem is we need to create chances on Monday. That's the biggest problem. We could have, Van Nistelrooy up front if he's not getting service. then it doesn't matter who we have up front. The team needs to create chances.
That's very true. But there was a guy called Ali Daei who used to play in German football, Iranian's top goal scorer. At one point, he was a top goal scorer in international football of all time. And I've always wanted to see, how would he do in the Premiership? And there's also a guy called Jardel. I don't know if you remember him. He played for Porto. Brazilian, played for Porto, and he was just banging goals, outstanding goal scorer for them. And then he ended up at Bolton with Samuel Allardyce and didn't really have a good run over here. But he was another one who, so sometimes it can be deceptive having good records in Portuguese league as a striker. Doesn't always transfer as someone coming into Premiership as someone scoring lots of goals. So 1 and 2 in the Portuguese league is not great. When you look at Nunes, he was scoring a lot more than that for Benfica. And then Ramos as well, who went to PSG, he was scoring a higher rate than that. But I do think for what we require as a B striker, Mr. B striker, I think he fits the bill.
Okay. Well, look, we'll see. There's one here on Monday. Remember, this is from Patrick again. Interesting point about fitness. They've looked leggy pre-season, lots of muscle injuries. Did they hit a mental physical wall with sheer number of games last season? Casemiro looked heavy in August. Do you remember we used to laugh about Liverpool's injuries when Klopp came in and had them pressing, and they all for what, a season and a half, 2 seasons, their players just kept on getting muscle injuries, kept on. Do you think that this could be the same with us at United, or do you think our physios are just shit?
And our head of fitness is a guy called Charlie Owen, who is about 37 years old and has only ever worked at Manchester United. He came from the under-19s and was promoted in the Solskjaer regime. I would think that United are not managing the squad fitness or injuries particularly well, with evidence to Wan-Bissaka being out for 2 months when he was brought on against Brighton, Martinez having to play through painkillers and stuff. On the other hand, every club has terrible injuries at the moment, almost as serious as ours. So it could be the fixture pile up, but I suspect it's that we're not looking after our players as well as we should be across football.
Is it a case maybe that we're missing the asthma inhalers?
Well, we got Beresford coming in who invented that, so I'm quite excited to see what doping charges we're going to get in the near future. Really innovate on that front.
Oh Lord,
breathing.
Lord, have mercy.
I totally agree with Ranić, who just seems like a prophet from the past. He came and said some things which is really coming to light right now to be a lot of truths. He did say physically that these guys need to improve. He kept saying it over and over again. And Patrick Agerman, who's an ex-footballer, who's in our comments, sounds like him. He used to play for Wimbledon. I just checked. Patrick, you're not that guy, are you? I know you're not. But I remember Patrick Agerman used to play for a professional football for Wimbledon. But he's saying, they looked a bit leggy pre-season, lots of muscle injuries. Did they hit mental, physical wall with the games last season? I think it applies to everybody. I just think we did. There was some, weren't you saying, Rebel, during pre-season we shouldn't be going on tour, we should be getting them fit. And because having these stupid games, we're playing 45 one team, 45 minutes to another team, I can't imagine getting the top peak fitness like that. I think it was Antonio Conte at Spurs who ran them ragged and had them puking up in buckets, pre-season. I'd like to see something like that. At least before, long after Christmas, and not breaking down.
Definitely the cost of brand Manchester United versus team Manchester United.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, brand and team. We need to work out what we are, and they need to work it out real quick. Now, maybe there's a saviour in sight now. There was an interesting article. I see Rebel sitting back thinking, "Oh, here we go." It was slightly breaking news, to be fair. This was a little bit earlier. So Jim Ratcliffe plans to be in charge of Manchester United next week. He's aiming to be in there by Monday. So what I did, obviously, I didn't want it to be total bullshit. So we've actually got where the tweet came from. Now, I have no idea if 129,000 followers is a lot. This is a lot more than I've got, to be fair. But or if that means that he's credible. But the news came from obviously Alan Nixon. Bath time. What are we thinking? Total tosh? Is it something that can be done? And to be fair, we do need something done before the January transfer window, don't we?
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about a joke about Jesus having 12 followers, but I couldn't quite get it out properly. Yeah, like look, he's called Reluctant Nico, as Box pointing out. He's got a Patreon, which is a sort of like a crowdfunding thing. I would be very, very surprised if all the paperwork and things has gone through by Monday. I'd be absolutely stunned. Especially as that I think that means, because it's New York Stock Exchange, it would have to go through on Friday night for him to, have the legality to do it. I think that Ratcliffe is getting closer and closer, and I would like to think that he's in charge by the end of the international break, which is rapidly looming upon us. So I'm going to guess that Alan Nixon he's having a gamble here. I think he's trying to be first to news that will eventually come out.
You said Radnick, not Ratcliffe.
Well, that's because I'm still annoyed that you brought him up. I can't believe you did that on Monday. Like, what Ratcliffe Ragnick used to do is he used to just come out and trash the players in public, and everyone saluted him for it. It was the most unhelpful nonsense I've ever seen. Like, he could have been sued for constructive dismissal. Sorry?
Prophetic.
Well, yeah, but was Ollie prophetic for saying that the squad was too unfit and he wanted them to be the fittest in the league? Every manager since Jose's tried to get them guys fit, and they just won't do it. Why should they?
You've got something against Radnick, I know, and you've given your reasons, which are probably good reasons as well, for the business side and what other sort of skullduggery he's up to. But in regards to what he said and what he pointed out, I think he said what every other man was afraid to say. And
no, Amonde, what he did is a classic manipulation technique where he pronounced that there was a problem and that he was the only man that could solve it. Because do you remember all that? Yeah, well, I don't know. Hopefully it'll be the Bayern Munich B team. But look, Amonde, he gave us fear. Like he put fear into everyone by prophesizing this doom, and then he gave us a means to control this fear, and it was through him.
Solution.
Sorry?
Problem, reaction, solution.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, is that what he wanted, he didn't want a consultancy job. He wanted us to pay his consultancy firm for access to medical and scouting data, which was absolutely ridiculous. He went around Europe hawking it before he somehow managed to hoodwink United into coming in. I mean, he was an accountant, an office manager, and he got put in charge of the biggest football team in the United Kingdom, the world, and it was an absolute unmitigated disaster that our players, some of them, probably haven't recovered from. He was dreadful, and that's why I get annoyed when you bring him up, because I consider him to be an enemy of football with his antics over the years.
Meanwhile, Red Bull are doing well in the Champions League and established now at Salzburg and in Germany as well as one of the top sides with great scouting system as well.
And what is the point of Red Bull?
Can I just suggest that we save the Ranić debate for another night, because we do have to finish off the question and the permutation of Jim Ratcliffe. I suppose. Sorry? We do have to kind of, I suppose, finish off the conversation on the permutations of whether or not Sir Jim Ratcliffe can be in charge before Monday. Personally speaking now, looking at it, we're 20-10 of a Thursday evening. So, unless on Monday decides to go out and walk on the Thames tomorrow and be filmed on Good Morning Britain. Bath-Time becomes president of FIFA, and Mr. B takes residence in number 10 Downing Street. Getting this done by Monday is absolute poppycock.
Rebel.
Oh shit, Rebel, man.
One of them's a lie, I'm sure. One of them can't happen. Hinted.
Oh
dear.
God, look, guys, we've gone through all of our topics. Is there anything, any other business, anything that you guys want to talk about, guys in the chat want to talk about before we say au revoir?
I just want to raise one interesting point that I read. It looks like there might be an emergency rule brought into place that will stop teams from loaning back players that were sold to affiliate clubs in a certain region of the world. So that could stop the like Ruben Neves and these lads from coming back on loan.
Good. It needed to be done because we knew what they did. We were talking about this months ago, that there was a rumor that Neves was going to be going to Newcastle on loan. At the end of the day, they've made them by the club. Granted, they still think there's some dodgy business. Get the law in place. Get it done. Get it sewn up so that it can be sorted, because Newcastle have got injuries. It's going to be interesting what they do in the January transfer window, to be fair.
What we got rest of the week. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a preview show for Luton, isn't it? The Mad Hatters. It's been a long time since they've been in the Premier League, and I remember, Mr. B, you remember the days with Ricky Hill and the Dean brothers. Yeah,
I do actually. I actually.
Mick
do,
Harford. Big Mick Harford in the days where you could tackle. How do you think they've been getting on this season? Because I mean, they haven't got a plastic pitch anymore. And I just want to say this. I've asked the question, but I'm just going to answer it. I think they're really poor for what I've seen player-wise. I just think they're whack. Most of their players are just like it's like Wimbledon years ago. They got a big guy up front, tries to muscle it, then get second, third balls off him, and no talent in that side. I know they got a couple of ex-Man United players like Mengi and Jong as well. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, Mr. B. Don't worry. I just think, I've seen a lot of sides this year. I think Luton, Sheffield United, I know I've got a lot of injuries, are not at the races, and they're going to slowly get buried at the bottom of the league. Starting on Saturday.
We're not really at the races either, are we?
Yeah.
I really rate that you think that there's a professional footballer from Wimbledon in the chat, and you've just sort of compared them to Wimbledon. That takes bottle. Well done. That was world class. I haven't seen much of Luton, but I suspect that them Burnley, Sheffield United are all probably going back from whence they came. But I'm also a little bit scared about this game. Like, I don't have the belief at the moment, and they continually let us down. So rather than saying we are less shit than they are, tell me why. Tell me why we're going to go and give them an absolute spanking. That, like it's going to be GBH what we do to them.
Because I just saw some football we played the other day against Copenhagen where we were just very composed.
What, 20 minutes?
Yeah, well, until we had 10 men.
Until we had a setback.
Yeah, we started controlling the game. We start controlling the game, popping the ball around, really composed on the ball, and working things. And as you said, half time, you were drooling. If you could see your face, I'm sure you were drooling at that goal that we scored. You mentioned it earlier.
Doing all sorts of things.
I think so. It's good to see. It's good to see we're ticking boxes like that, and it's coming at the right time. These are games that we need to be winning. And I think it must be a relief to say, all right, we're playing Luton after what's been happening lately. We can be encouraged to get a good result now.
Do you know, after some of the stuff I've heard today, Mr. B, I think I could nearly convince OMONDI that Barry's Teabags in Cork are buying Manchester United Football Club and relocating them to Cork.
I think you might be right. All we need is a tweet and a PDF, and the Monday's gone. On Monday, I tell you, I know some positive Manchester United fans, but good grief. You're confident that we're going to beat Luton. Somebody in the chat said they gave Liverpool a game. As Bath Time said, we're not that team that can just turn up away from home as well. We can't even say home because we've been shit away from home and at home. So we've got no form. So, we'll talk about the game tomorrow. No,
Can we
we're talking
make a
about it
request
today.
from Solo to do a lovely winning formation, a winning lineup for his solo 11 tomorrow as well?
Yeah, and I said he sent me one, and to be honest, it had 11 threads in it, and I was tempted to put it up because maybe that would win us the game. Maybe we are missing Fred Solo. Maybe we are missing your guy.
Do you think Fred's better than Amrabat?
No. You may as well say is Fred better than Mount.
Actually, can I ask that question to the three of you before we do go? Mason Mount bought for a substantive amount of cash, given the iconic number 7 jersey, and can't even nearly get a sniff of grass at this stage on the Old Trafford pitch. What's going on there?
Well, I was very, very annoyed to see Mason Mount last night. Like, not because I don't rate him as a player or whatever, but it was such a stupid substitution. Like, we know that Hojlund has to come off after a certain amount of time. He's got to be looked after. He did more running than was expected of him. All that is fine. You don't bring Mason Mount on to play as to be an outlet. It should have been Martial.
Do you think he put him on? He played him because he wanted him to press?
No, I think he played him because he's told Mount, "Don't worry, you're still in my plans. You'll definitely get a run out against."
No, I
Copenhagen.
I can't believe that. I don't think Martial would have pressed. I'm not sure pressing was the right thing to have done, to be doing so late in the game, to be fair, because all it did was pull players out of position. But I think he wanted that same pressing, and Martial wouldn't do it. He knows. You see Martial. What does Martial press his gal?
Martial is actually decent defensively. Like, you might think he lacks energy and aggression and all this stuff on the pitch, but what he's really good at is attaching himself to, like, number 6s and making the ball have to go out wide so it's less dangerous. Martial's decent, like, in the first line of pressure, and so is Mount. But the thing is we didn't have a first line of pressure. We had one guy, right?
Yeah.
And that one guy isn't going to make the tackle. And we're playing in a mid block, so you can't really press. All we needed was an outlet. We needed someone to run the channels, chase diagonals, get a bit nasty, and it's not Mount.
Martial. Yeah, but it wouldn't have been Martial, would it?
Martial can hold the ball up much better than Mount can.
You were just talking about running channels and chasing down balls.
Yeah, like if you give Martial something that is vaguely near him, you can see it with his gloves on, he is much more likely to control that ball and draw the foul than Mason Mount or anyone else on the pitch. If there's one striker, like you saw what Hojlund was doing. Hojlund was playing a bit like Harry Kane. He was dropping deep. He was taking ridiculous fouls. He was rolling about and crying and getting pressure off the team. All of that went out the window when Mount came on. It was a terrible substitution. And Martial, I think, would have been more likely to win you the free kicks with his control and the fact that he's really good at relieving pressure on people. And I think it's just, it was a terrible sub. A terrible sub.
Mr. B, can I just give one quick shout out to somebody that responded to our tweet about this show on our Twitter, at the MU Agenda, by the way, for anyone that hasn't followed our Twitter. At Robbie MANU77 says, it won't be by Monday in respect of Ratcliffe.
Okay. Yeah, good. Anything else, guys, before I go and get some food?
Go and get
the pizza.
Yeah, go and get your food. Thanks to everyone for tuning in today. Don't forget, if you want to see the Solo 11 tomorrow, and you got the Friday night takeaway as well. What time's kickoff, by the way, on Saturday?
Good question.
I've got
no idea.
I've got a league game on Saturday, so I have no idea.
We are playing at 3:00.
Okay.
One
Guys-
thing I'd be interested in
yeah.
from the comments, sorry, Mr. V, is that we've got international break like coming up real quick on us. Is there any like sort of particular content that you guys would like to see? Because otherwise, it's literally going to be us just talking gibberish for 2 weeks with like no news. I don't want to do any more stuff on takeovers.
No.
So quizzes, anything like that, anything that you people want to spend your time with, I'd be delighted to hear from you.
Celebrity boxing match, Rebel versus Mr. B.
We can have a Monday singing. He always tries to do it. We can get him. We can a Monday stand up. We could do a stand up with a Monday.
Stand up with jokes if you want, guys.
Yeah,
Listen,
Lord
Do you
have
think
mercy.
you could take Mr. B and Rebel?
What?
If
Have
it
you
was
seen
a
the size
fight?
of a Monday? Have you
Yeah,
seen the
that's
size
what
of
I'm
a Monday?
asking.
Would they do 1 round each, maybe?
No,
Not
both
is-
at the
is
same
the-
time.
He'd kill
In a
us.
real fight.
There's no chance.
Not
There's
a prayer.
absolutely no chance.
No way.
In a real fight.
I think
Yeah.
I think I'm 4 foot shorter than a Monday. There's no chance.
Just go for his ankles.
I don't fight, you know. I
Bad time.
don't fight.
I'm 6 foot and I'm a dwarf next to him.
Yeah, I know he's tall, but like there's two of you boys. Show a bit of courage, a bit of fun.
No chance.
Get in there,
I'm
tug
ready.
on the
That's what we
hair.
call a handicap match in wrestling. A handicap match, 2 against 1.
Yeah, that's probably what I would end up being. No chance.
Rebel could throw you at him.
Here. I might bring in my GA ball and just start kicking it at him.
Be like a nerf gun.
Oh,
God.
G Wolf about the moon landings.
Yeah, I had a suspicion that G Wolf, after all of his talking about VAR conspiracies, might extend to further conspiracies, and it turns out he's not a believer in the moon landings. Which does he share that with you, Omonde?
Yeah. I don't believe you can land on the moon. Have you seen
And
how shiny? It's a lesser light, as it says in the Bible. It's a shiny, lesser light than the sun. You go and look at it at night. How can something that reflects so much light, you can land on it and be up this dusty old thing they showed up there? It's impossible. There's so many other factors I don't even want to talk about on this show.
But you think you can land on the sun, do you?
Well, yeah.
that's where we'll beat Bayern then on the bloody sun.
All right. That's why I don't want to talk conspiracies, because people get mocked for their views. But I'm a logical person. I'm a logical person. If you're in Genesis in the Bible, it just says that we live in the firmament, and above the firmament is waters and sea, and there's no such thing as this universe that they create. It's like Star Trek universe we live in.
Are you a flat earther?
I was just going to ask that.
I'm not. Listen, I believe. Go and read Genesis, and that's the structure.
Oh God, guys, look. This
We're done.
conversation is
Fox
going
is with me.
somewhere
Fox,
where I
you-
didn't expect it to go. What we will do, if you guys want to talk about flat Earth and moon landings and the fact that Amonde actually feels that we could land on the sun,
No, I never said that. I said it's the sun, the moon is a less light than the sun. No way you can land. What I'm saying, these things are local, more local than 93 million miles away, as they say. They're within our firmament.
guys, we will be back tomorrow talking about firmaments and stuff like that. So, guys, look, we've had it's been a blast. It's nice having four nutters on all at once. And we even had the King Nutter solo holding up the channel there. Guys, look, thanks for watching. We will be back tomorrow.
One more.
Hold on. Good evening, Pat Lawless. Evening, gentlemen. He says, I'd love to hear an open discussion on why the team suffers from the same issues 5 odd managers and 10 years later couldn't fix as well.
The players are all tossers. That's a
and
nice
big up
short
to
combo there, isn't
Cannon from Armory TV. He said, United agenda has now turned into conspiracy theories. Beats talking about Man U.
And I can guarantee one thing that'll be happening during the international break. I'll be depressed about the Irish football team.
And also, there's another conspiracy theory why Arsenal have never won a European Cup, but they think they're a big club.
Don't
It's a
Monday.
conspiracy,
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Canners, see what you've started. Anytime you want to come and talk about shining your European trophy, give us a DM with that,
Well,
guys.
But we were talking about. I mean, we talk about European trophies and Arsenal, that kind of thing. We started the show. We were talking about coming from behind, like the team yesterday, and pulling out, that sort of thing with tackles. But remember, Seaman got lobbed by Naeem. Anyway,
we are out of here.
last time they got beat in the final. Arsenal should never talk about you. Anyway,
Someone put him out of his misery. Throw a cloth